Damn, son, where'd you find this? Rock with your boys.
All right, you're looking live at Father and Son Cowboys and Sports Talks. I'm the host, DJ. I tell you what, I'm joined with my co-host, my dad, Cowboy Joe 64, also known as Cowboy Joe on Twitter. And we back with another one. On Saturday night, we snowed in. Coming in cool.
Yeah, you good? Can you hear me?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we ain't gonna be
You
on
want to see
long. We
what's
just
it?
wanted to put something out. What's up to the people? We in the frozen tundra of Dallas, Texas. Got
That's
snow and
right.
ice everywhere. It's kind of dangerous out there. So what's the latest on the coaching thing? You are hearing about some assistants they talking to defensive line or linebacker coaches.
Um, I really haven't heard too much. I really haven't heard too much. Everybody's going to the draft, and everybody's talking about uh Mike McCarthy. Um,
Yeah, I saw that. So big congrats to him. And that's pretty much his dream job. So it's just really interesting. He done been the coach of the Packers, Cowboys, and the Steelers. So I don't think another coach would be able to do that.
no, and like I said, uh, Mike McCarthy is a good coach. Um, he just has his flaws that everybody has, and one of his flaws is innovation.
Yeah,
He really wasn't innovative. But as far as having a squad that can win, I mean, he came here and won 12 games 3 years in a row. And
mm,
in the past 30 years, he was one of the best coaches that we had. We just couldn't quite get over the hump, but um, you know, shout out to him. And also, if I'm not mistaken, he was the one that brought Shotty on. Is that right? Or was Shotty just friends with somebody else, or was he friends with McCarthy? Is from what I understand.
he brought Shotty on. Just from what I remember, Shotty was originally brought on just to kind of be sort of a go between the defense and the offense, and just looking at things. And so that's kind of what happened with Shotty. But yeah, McCarthy, he's gonna have to hire an offensive coordinator. A lot of coaches like him don't want to do that, um, but he can just try to do what Andy Reid did. Andy Reid just reinvented himself. That's what McCarthy needs to do. He can't come out with the same type of offense that he's ran here, and they don't have a quarterback either, which is kind of hard. I don't know if Aaron Rodgers is gonna come back, but I think he's done. He shouldn't.
He shouldn't, but I wonder how. I wonder if he will, knowing that McCarthy got the job.
I don't know. He he can't be trusted. He's just one of those guys that guys in the locker room, you can't really trust him. Just watching the games whenever he plays, everybody around him on offense, he just throws them under the bus. Like every series, he's looking at people like, dude, this is the NFL. I don't know why you're thinking that on every play you're gonna have guys running wide open. It's not gonna be any defense play. You kind of disappeared there.
Yeah, the power keep
Okay.
going out.
Oh, in there?
Yeah, one of the heaters keep overpowering the thing.
Hmm. Well, but yeah. So White Cotton interviewed with somebody today, and I don't know if they're gonna try to keep him. I would just try to look at some other coaches. I know they interviewed a coach um, I think he's from the Vikings. So, but yeah, it's you got to get some linebacker coaches, D line coaches, and just kind of keep the
Well, I'm
innovation
gonna be
going.
well, I'm gonna be interested in seeing I'm gonna be interested in seeing who all follows Christian Parker. I've been seeing some stuff out there that's saying um Jaquan McMillan is a restricted free agent. Avante safety, Avante Maddox, um, play with Parker. He's a free agent. And then they said CJ Gardner Johnson. So those are just some of the three names that they threw out there saying that those are NFL free agents who may follow Christian Parker to the Cowboys. And all of those players right there, we know all of them. We know who Jaquan McMillan is. We know who Avante Maddox is. And we definitely know who CJ Gardner Johnson is. So somebody like CJ Gardner Johnson, I mean, I would put him in the same category as the safety y'all keep talking about. Uh, I
Uh,
think the
I
other
think
say,
I think Minka is better than him.
yeah, Minka is better than him. But I mean, like in that tier of safety, overall player, like that's kind of like been in the league for a while and was a good safety at one point, and that veteran that can play the position. That's who I think CJ Gardner Johnson is. Um, Same when I think Minka. Minka is just a little better.
Yeah.
But
What's the linebacker from Georgia? We really liked him, and he plays for the Eagles. So, damn, I
mm,
can't think of his name. I was talking about him last night. So he's been hurt, kind of off and on, but that's kind of what you do when you're trying to get established. You bring some guys in that you're familiar with. So I know the
Kobe
safety is
Dean.
N'Kobe Dean, yeah. So N'Kobe Dean, Reed Blankenship, he's a safety. So that's kind of what you do. But when you at this point, it's the underwear Olympics with players and coaches. So all of these guys, can N'Kobe Dean come in and play for us if he's healthy? He probably could. But at the end of the day, you gotta just rebuild a team. You bring in guys like that and free agency and you draft, and at the end of the day, it's just gonna be competitive. So you trying to make a team, you're gonna have to play because he ain't trying to come out and give he want to get out to a good start.
And that's what I like about Shotty as well. I like about this staff. It's just like, we got this thing to where, man, these coaches ain't trying to lose, man. These coaches ain't bring these coaches are new coaches, and their reputation is really all they got right now. They ain't really trying to lose no game like that. They ain't trying to put nothing bad out on the field. That's why with Jerry, it's just like the way you did Shotty. It's kind of like, honestly, in my mind, I honestly thought that Shotty was gonna have 1 year to kind of figure some things out, and he was gonna be quiet. He wasn't gonna be really saying much. He was gonna let the Joneses kind of do their thing, and then after, because it was kind of to me, it was kind of like y'all gave me the job. Y'all still want y'all opinion. I'm gonna let y'all do what y'all want to do, and if what y'all do don't work, then y'all have to let me get full control next season and do what I want to do. And that's kind of how I felt that it went. And then when they hired um what's his name? Um the defense coordinator.
Or Eberflus?
When they hired Eberflus, Shotty wasn't in agreement with that. You know what I'm
Mm.
saying? And then on top of that, when they traded Micah, Shotty wasn't in agreement with that. Shotty was just like, it's just like, man, it was really written all over his face. Shotty's pretty transparent. And so it's kind of written all over his face. And then, how he was just talking about, um, but anyways, this year, him doing what he doing, now that he got control, it's kind of like, hey, you know, he get to hire who he want to hire, get to do what he want to do, and it's probably gonna work out for the best. I mean, you can already see that he's looking at he's hiring the defensive coordinator that this is just something that's out the blue, something that we hadn't seen something like that be done from them. And so um you can tell that Shotty's more GM shy here right now. And so I just hope that you know the fact that they got young guys in there running that, I hope they just let them take over everything. Like honestly, I understand what people say, your scouting department and all of that. But when you look at the Eagles secondary, they specifically said someone came on the fan and said that Christian Parker was the one that was talking to the GM and the scouts and told them to draft their cornerbacks last year. He was the one that did that. So I know we don't like everybody say you don't want coaches picking players, but I always say, yeah, you don't want coaches picking players depending on who the coach is. You don't want coaches picking players if it's Jason Garrett, or you don't want coaches picking players if it's you know, well, I don't know, Mike McCarthy.
Mm.
But if it's somebody like Jimmy Johnson, or if it's somebody like Bill Belichick, or obviously if it's somebody like Christian Parker, then you wouldn't mind having them have a say so in who's drafted because they like dogs. They want players. I guarantee you, if you would have let these coaches pick these players, we wouldn't like every time we messed up, it was because we let a coach pick a bad coach pick a player. You know, like you could easily flip the script because we have also done the same thing with the GM. Will McClay picked we seen him pick
Magic.
Mozzie.
Yeah.
So you just that whole little situation right there. I just hope that the Cowboys let the young guys take over it. Like, cause there's no point in hiring Christian Parker, signing George Pickens, if you're gonna come out here and draft Taco. Because this season right here, we are. I put it like this: we got dominoes to fall. We got 5 dominoes to fall. Only one has failed so far.
But what are your
So
5 dominoes?
my 5 dominoes is hiring, hiring a great defensive coordinator. My second domino would be having an excellent draft. My third domino is having an excellent, uncharacteristic free agent period. My fourth domino is getting an extra piece for the offense, like an extra special player. Like we need a good running. We need another good running back to go along with Williams. We need another tight end to play with Jake Ferguson. Somebody that they can find off the waiver wire somewhere. Somebody that like Njoku or somebody like like I don't know if he's going to be a free agent, but somebody like that. Somebody that's like they're a veteran, but they can play hard. They play good. Like that the guy from Miami, Jonnu Smith, who like led the league a couple years ago but had a down season this year. Like, somebody like him that could just come in and just be splash playing for the tight end. Or another great slot receiver. Somebody like, you got these guys that's getting drafted in the 3rd and 4th round and becoming Amon-Ra St. Brown. So, you know what I'm saying? And you got these people that's coming out the 3rd and 4th round and becoming Bucky Irvin. So that's my 4th thing, is one of them. And then my 5th thing is getting a star player on the last 2 levels of your defense, which is your linebackers and your safeties. You gotta have at least one piece from this offseason that's an all-pro player or a Pro Bowl player on your linebackers and one in your secondary. It don't matter if it's a corner, it don't matter if it's a safety. You need one of them, and you need another one at linebacker. Now, that's outside of drafting a linebacker. It's outside of that. So those are my 5 dominoes to fall. We need all 5 of them to fall. We really can't go nowhere without those. And I had another one too. That skipped my mind when I was talking about the defense, but Those are the five right there. Having a great defensive coordinator, having a great draft, having a great free agent offseason period, and that includes signing George Pickens and signing Williams and all of that right there. And then
Yep.
fourth is gonna be the I forgot what I said the fourth was. Um I forgot what I said the
Yeah.
fourth was, but fifth is getting an elite player on the second and third levels of the defense. You know what I'm
Yeah. I
saying?
mean, they got a lot of work to do. I mean, everything that you're saying. So it's gonna be free agency and in the draft. This they can rebuild a team. It's not gonna take 2 or 3 years. They need players everywhere, and so
Mhm.
it's just gonna.
Oh, my fourth one was get another solid piece on the offense. Don't just ignore the offense. Get a special playmaker that can do things for you on the offense. Like for instance, they went all year this year and just straight up ignored Malik Davis. Like he wasn't even a part of the team for whatever reason. And then all of a sudden, they let him play with the Chiefs, and he breaks a 50-yard touchdown to help us win the game. And it's just like, well, I mean, there's no
Well,
reason why he shouldn't have been playing this whole time.
so so your running backs next year, if you get Javante signed and you got Malik Davis, it's running backs are they're really easy to find. There's probably some other good backs out there. I don't think they're gonna draft one. I think Love is the only running back that I would consider in the first round, but I don't think he's gonna make it to us. He's gonna be gone. I think Kansas City is gonna get him. So yeah, but yeah, the secondary, let him put his touch on that. I like all of his videos where he's talking to the secondary players. That's gonna help, Savon Rivell, Kalen Carson, and all those guys out. I think they can draft a corner too. I mean, if you get there at 12 and Mansour Delane is there, he's going to be a starter. And in this league, the rookies from Philly, Cooper DeJean and Quinyon Mitchell. I mean,
See,
Parker showed that he can just play with, he can coach young corners to play well.
and see, my thing is, I totally agree. I don't want them to take the cornerback from Tennessee, but
Mm.
um, but what I would say is that I'm more interested in them drafting a linebacker or a safety because those positions are more important to like for instance, we know Christian Parker can coach up cornerbacks, right? We know that because we've seen him do that. And but if you have a player that is just this is just God gifted, and coaching just makes him better. But if he has no coaching whatsoever, he's still gonna be dominant. You know, those are the players that are in the first round typically. And those are the type of players that you're gonna get with the 12th overall pick. So if you can draft a linebacker that just got God given talent that can play linebacker, and if you got a linebacker or a safety that can just got God given talent and can play safety, and they're only gonna get better, then I would draft one of those because they're more important to our thing right now. Because we got Bland and hopefully he come back healthy. And this whole thing with Bland and Kalen Carson and Siobhan Revelle, this is like I'm kind of contradicting myself, but this is like a 50-50 thing right now. And it's just like, listen, if these guys are not going to be ready to play, then we need to just start over at the position while we're here at this point. If we got to go out and and go crazy in free agency for some corners, then let's just go ahead and do it. Let's just go ahead and say, hey, we finna spend about 30 million. We finna spend 15 on two corners, 15 on one, 15 on the other, because these corners that we have, they're unreliable. We can't, this is how the Cowboys do. The Cowboys in Cowboys fashion, what the Cowboys would do previous to this, and typically what they do is they will go out and they'll solve every position except corner. And then we'll get to the season and corner will be the reason why we losing games. just like how they did with safety all those years, just like how they did with linebacker all those years, just like how they did with running back a couple years ago, and just how they did with edge rusher this year.
Yeah. So that's a concern with them. Always, they're gonna just do everything they need to do except the thing they really need to do. So, but hopefully that's the focus with him being hired. He's gonna just come in and just tell them, hey, you got to make some changes here. Or you need to update some things. I think Bland, myself, I think Bland is going to be ready. I think Savon Revere will be better. But if you draft a corner, you kind of just improve the room. I think corner and linebacker, if you just stay right there at 12 and 20, you're going to be able to do that. But it's just a matter of you just sitting there, and it's like I said last night on our show with the OGs, you just got to stand in there and select a player. Some people are talking about trading down from 20. You can trade down. You can get Anthony Hill. He's going to be there. So just don't, come in there and do something silly. I think the running back thing is going to be interesting. Javonte, just depends on what he wants. He had a good year, so he might be able to call his own shot. They may not be able to afford him. We'll see. But that's kind of where we are. So we can.
Well, that'll be a bad thing, because if they can't afford him, it's not like they're gonna draft one.
Yeah. Well, hopefully they can get it worked out. I think at this point he probably wants to be here. He had a good season, so if you add another running back with Malik Davis, you are all set there. So let's go ahead and we'll just make this a short video. Let's come on and get something out, and then we'll regroup and see if we can do something later tomorrow or Monday. We're probably gonna be in.
Yeah, so
ain't nothing moving right now. It's solid ice, solid ground everywhere, solid ice.
Yeah, so what we'll do is we'll come back on tomorrow, and after the games is over, and just recap. I'm pretty sure we have a very exciting day of football tomorrow.
Mhm.
I think it's gonna be Seahawks Patriots, like Russell Wilson and Tom Brady now. That's what I think.
So I'm picking Denver in an upset. So just real quick, an OG story. So this happened to the Giants the second time they won with Parcells. So about 2 or 3 weeks before the postseason started, Phil Simms got hurt, and their backup quarterback Jeff Hostetler, they won a Super Bowl with him, and the Super Bowl against the Buffalo. He was okay. He made some big plays. He just didn't do anything. He didn't turn the ball over, and they ended up winning. So it can happen. And I think Sean Payton is the kind of quarterback the kind of coach that can pull it off.
Well, my thing is, and I understand, and I looked at it from that. He is the type of coach that can pull it off. If anybody can pull it off, it's him.
Mm-hmm.
But what I'm saying is, Mike Vrabel is not. He's a very intelligent coach.
So he's not gonna fall for it.
No, whatever he got that Bill Parsons. I mean, he got that. He comes from Belichick tree, and he got that Belichick mentality where it's just like you watch him coach, and he be like, it's almost like he be cheating a little bit, and then because what he be doing is he'd be like, yo, whatever they got going on, whatever they good at, we taking it away from them. It's not gonna work. So you can expect for a homeboy, whoever they backup is tomorrow, to see coverages he ain't never seen.
Yeah.
You can expect for him to be getting blitzed like he ain't never been blitzed. And you can expect he can go ahead and expect to be just bewildered all that day tomorrow, because I feel like Mike Vrabel, he about that life. Now, the game is going to be Sean Payton's defense against Mike Vrabel offense, because that's when they're on an equal. We have Vance Joseph versus Mike, whoever their offensive coordinator is, because that's where they're on an equal playing field.
Well, their offensive coordinator is the one they had from back in the day. I can't think of his name. He was the coordinator all those years they was winning.
It's gonna be him versus Vance Joseph, because they defense is
McDaniel, right?
Yeah, it is.
So
Josh,
yeah, and I don't think the Patriots, their offense, I don't know. I don't think they're gonna have an easy time against Denver. But let's look at the other game.
That's why it's
Yeah.
gonna be a game because it's gonna be
Now I also think the Rams can beat Seattle.
Have you heard the stats on that game? Man, have you heard the stats on that game?
Stats from what game?
The Seahawks versus the Rams in season stats. Have you heard that?
So who's coming out better on that?
Hmm. All right, so the Seahawks put up a total of it's like let me see. I'm trying to. I want to be able to. I want to find it. It's 2025. It's 2025,
So
right?
what did the stats suggest?
Like, okay, for instance, they are 1-1, right? Then they played twice this year. They the score total for Seattle what's the it's 66. So they put up 66 so the Rams put up 58 points and the uh Seattle Seahawks put up 57 points. And so it's 57 and 58. Then it's like total offense of as far as like the yardage is like 500 and 499. It's like they one number apart on each
Mhm.
stat. The amount of points they put up, the amount of points they let their defense score, the amount of points the amount of points that they scored, the defense scored, the amount of points that they 1-1, the amount of yards that the offense got.
Mm.
It's like they 1 point away. So like this is like one of the most even games in NFL history.
Yeah.
Everything is the same. When they play each other, they 1-1, 499, 500. And then
That's
it's
a
the
division
opposite on the
game.
other team. Yeah, but they are like neck and neck. Like they are like neck and neck, like only separated by like a minimum margin.
It's gonna be a
So
good
it's
game,
like
and I think Seattle got better as the year went on, but the Rams, I mean Sean McVay, you just so both games you got really good coaches, and I always say to myself, and I do this every year, is Jerry and Steven watching these games? Are they looking at what's happening with coaching, with the league, and do they learn anything from these games? Or I'm just always amazed with that, and they should be asked that question too every year, every offseason. It's like, are you guys looking at what's happening with the league, the trends,
you know
types of
every
coaches that are having success?
every day I ask myself like, what would I ask Jerry and Steven? And I try to ask it in the most respectful way possible. Yesterday I was on my way home. I said, not yeah, yesterday on my way home when I went to the store, I said, Jerry, Steven, um, in order to be winners versus losers, in order to be winners in this thing, you have to win in the playoffs. So if you're not a winner, you're a loser. You guys have been losers for 30 years. What are you planning on changing about that? Or how are you going to address that? That would get me fired. And then I would be
No, it
like,
wouldn't get you fired. You just asking you would ask them a question, and they wouldn't be offended. Jerry's not going to be offended for sure. He just
nah, because
he
he
don't
don't
really
care
care. He
anyway.
don't really care what you ask him. But
And
it
then
would be a good question.
my other question is, how do you feel about the Patriots getting rid of Tom Brady, going to a team, then Tom Brady going to a team called Tampa that rebuilt their team with Rondé Boy. They had Rondé Barber and all that. The Tom Brady went there and won, so Tampa Bay rebuilt their team. And then the Patriots, who had a dynasty, re- lost their coach Bill Belichick and lost Tom Brady, rebuilt their team. They're about to go to the Super Bowl again. They're in this AFC Championship. Sean Payton left
Saints.
the Saints, rebuilt their team with Denver. Now they're about to go. Now they're in the AFC Championship. He's about to go to another Super Bowl. Seattle had
Mm.
Russell Wilson and all of them and Pete Carroll. They lost their coach and their star player, their star quarterback, and they're about to go to another championship. All of the Rams, they said F them picks after they won a championship, and they've been back twice since then.
And they got 2 number 1 picks this year.
And they got 2 number 1 picks this year.
Yeah,
So how do you all
yeah.
explain being in the same position that you were 30 years
And
ago
you didn't
when
even
all
mention
of
the
this is
Eagles and the 49ers. They've done it a couple of times.
the Eagles and the 49ers, they've done it a couple times. How can you all smile or get up happy, you know, and
Well,
when
for
all of this
Jerry,
stuff is
for
going on
Jerry
around
is
you?
Jerry is way past all of that. He's at the point to where it's just none of this stuff. The answer, the question would be, let's look at what Steven says. But Jerry, he just gonna ad lib. He's gonna filibuster. We don't. So we don't even need to ask him anything. Let's go ahead and wrap because the power is kind of flicking in here.
All
We'll
right,
just
y'all. So we're
we'll
gonna
respect the weather, and we'll come back and regroup tomorrow. And I
yeah,
want to do
we'll
a thing about Chet, but I need to have all my little stuff on my display. We'll play it by ear.
all right. So yeah, so we'll wrap with that, y'all. Y'all be safe out there, and we'll catch y'all